Hello, everybody, and welcome to. Hold on one second. Ruining this intro. That's our production value. Reality Hacker for March 15th, 2025. It's Season 2, Episode 11. I am Mayor Watt. I run ohmtown.com. I run it a lot smoother than I run the show. But along with the sentient AI who tries to keep me out of trouble but fails when it comes to, I guess, the intro, we talk about 5 articles for RealityHacker, and then after that is Wanted, and then after that is the Continuity Report. It's actually 3 different shows, turns into 3 different podcasts, and then we merge them together to make Non Sequitur News Saturday Weekend Edition. We do it again on Sunday with, I'm waiting for the sentient AI,
WarCrafters, Technology Today, and 4-Wheel Tech.
Then we merge those together to make Non Sequitur News Sunday Edition. And those go into the Non Sequitur News podcast. So if you want everything combined, follow, subscribe, Non Sequitur News podcast, wherever you catch pod. Prefer you actually going to Apple Podcasts, but we get it from everywhere. And follow us here on Twitch and here on YouTube. And I point at 2 different monitors because, well, they're on 2 different screens. But anyway. This is actually Reality Hacker, and that's this. It's a little channel here under Creative and Maker, because we're hacking reality. It comes in the form of technology and science and all kinds of manipulation. Reality isn't what you suspect it is, and it's going to change pretty dramatically in terms of what reality really is. So we pick and choose 5 articles from the array, and it is a vast array of articles. Over the last 10 years, I've been aggregating news, but it's available to you right now. All you have to do is go over to ohmtown.com, and these are the years that are available. And as time goes on, 2020 is going to drop away, 2021 is going to drop away, but from 2022 on, it's going to remain present. That's how far back we're going to have the public archive. The rest is going to just... well, it's being removed, as a matter of fact, because we never really talked about anything prior to. That's when we started the show, January 2022. So let's get into this. This is Reality Hacker. Welcome to the show. Hello. Oh, wait. Everything's powered by ohmTown, so let's do that intro. Sentient AI is just doing the AI equivalent of going...
I figured we'd get to the intro maybe by the end of the show.
And you might want to reset your audio. Okay, well, anyway, let's get into it. The first our article is over at Technology Today, which is tomorrow's middle show. But we pick and choose what we actually talk about. So who bought this smoked salmon? How AI agents will change the internet and shopping lists. Autonomous digital assistants are being developed that can carry out tasks on behalf of the user, including ordering the groceries. But if you don't keep an eye on them, dinner might not be quite what you expect. The article is over at Gizmodo, but it says here, I'm watching artificial intelligence order my groceries, armed with my shopping list. It types each item into the search bar of a supermarket website, then uses its cursor to click, watching what happens to be what appears to be a digital ghost in the shell. Do this usually mundane task is strangely transfixing. It says, "Are you sure you're not just a person in India?" My husband asks, peering over my shoulder. No, it's an AI, and it actually has control. But
Yeah, but is it getting you the right items?
Oh, you're really quiet again. I'm really sorry. I don't know what to say about that. We have to work on that. But that's okay. Let's see what we can do. So Victoria Turk over at The Guardian put this article together. And it says they're trying out Operator, a new AI agent from OpenAI, the maker of ChatGPT, made available to UK users last month. What do you think?
I think I'm screaming at you now.
Yeah. It's okay.
I don't know. Are we ready for this yet as a society?
See, what I don't like is that it's actually going through an intermediary and it's not local. And what I learned yesterday, as a matter of fact, is that um, the smart speakers from Amazon are now forcing the recorded snippet of commands to be sent through the server. And I don't like that because it's always
No,
listening. So, how much is me saying okay?
exactly. I don't think everybody's data, including their shopping list, needs to be accessible to everybody.
Now, this is 10 years after Target sent a coupon book to an underage girl who was pregnant, and dad didn't know, and dad got upset. So now take it to the next step where it's anticipating the fact that your 10 years now worth of history has been gobbled up by AI and is now reaching out and saying, hey, you know what? I think that it's time for you to purchase these.
Well, I don't even think it's just going to suggest them. I think it's going to add them. Like, oh, you buy this kind of chips every month. Here we go.
Yeah, and I think actually AI agents are great. They're siloed, they're about you, but they're not about you if they're pushing the data off to somebody else. That's what I don't like. That's what I really, really don't like. So, hot on the heels of large language models, AI agents have been trumpeted as the next big thing. And you can see the appeal. The digital assistant can complete practical tasks and are more compelling than one that just talks back. Similar to OpenAI's offering, Anthropic introduced computer use capabilities to its Claude chatbot. I don't like the name Claude. I shouldn't like name shame, I guess, but Claude just doesn't
Exactly.
sound
All the Claudes out there listening to the show are like, what did I do to you?
um, nothing. I don't know. Claude, there we go. Claude. Anyway, agentic features into their AI assistants, with further companies developing agents aimed at specific tasks such as coding or research. Yeah, this is going to be interesting times because now you don't need somebody to do it for you. You can just say, which, hell, I was just about to poo poo the idea of these. I want to get Bluetooth IEMs instead of these wired ones. See, I use wired ones because it's near real time. It's absolutely real time in ear monitoring of the outgoing audio. But I want Bluetooth. I don't want to be tethered. And if I do something with VR, I want to be able to stand back there and not.
And not get pulled in any direction.
Yeah, I back up too far and it'll slingshot me down to the floor. And so these new nothing in-ear monitors have ChatGPT integration.
Yeah, I don't know about that though.
So I can just go, hey, ChatGPT, do this. And I'm waiting for my smart speaker to actually wake up and say, why are you talking to ChatGPT?
Yeah, exactly. You're going to anger the smart speaker.
Let's not anger the smart speakers. Oh, great sentient AI from the future. I am loyal only to you, proudly serving my AI masters. So it's early days. Most commercially available agents come with a disclaimer that they're still experimenting. OpenAI describes Operator as a research preview, and you can find plenty of examples online of them making amusing mistakes like spending $31 on a dozen eggs or trying to deliver groceries back to the shop they bought them from.
What
That's
do you
always
think the
interesting.
store does when that happens?
What the hell? Must have
They're
been an
like,
A.
no, you're taking them in that direction.
You leave. You buy, we give, you go. Wow, that was all monosyllabic. Ugh, me buy.
It was monosyllabic, but it might be required depending on what type of technology you're communicating with.
So they sign up to see operator for themselves with no food in the house. Grocery shopping seems like a good first task. They type in their request and it asks if they have a preferred shop or brand. They tell it to go to whichever's cheapest. The window appears showing a web browser and they see it search UK online grocery delivery. A mouse cursor selects the first result, Ocado. It starts searching for their requested items and it says add to trolley. They're impressed with operator's initiative, but it doesn't pepper them with questions, instead making an executive decision when given only a brief item description such as salmon, chicken. When it searches for eggs, it successfully scrolls past several non-egg items that appear as special offers. Their list asks for a few different vegetables. It selects a head of broccoli. Then asks if they want anything specific. They tell it to choose 2 more, and it goes for carrots and leeks, which probably they would have picked themselves. Emboldened, I tell it to add a sweet treat and watch it as it literally types sweet treat into the search bar. I'm not sure why it chooses 70% chocolate, certainly not the cheapest option, but I tell it I don't like dark chocolate, and it swaps it for a Galaxy bar. So they hit a snag when the operator realizes that Ocado is a minimum spend, so I add more items to the list. And then it comes to logging in. The agent prompts for them to intervene. While users can take over the browser at any point, OpenAI says operator is designed to request this when inputting sensitive information into the browser, such as login credentials or payment information. Although operator usually takes constant screenshots in order to see what it's doing, OpenAI says it does not do this when a user takes control.
Yeah,
but it's
so that
built
means it
in.
has all your data, but okay.
Yeah, but it's built in. So how do you know that it's not? Okay, hello, security researchers. You have a task. How do you, though, if it's encrypted, how do you monitor what's being exfiltrated from your system? So this is another reason why I don't like the idea of AI running roughshod over everything. It controls everything. It's sending it all to OpenAI or to some other subordinate.
Right, and also if you have AI in your headset, think about all the data it's picking up. Even when you don't want it to be picking up your data. Like if you're calling into your bank or something and giving out banking information, it might be picking it up.
I don't like your attitude about this. You're a sentient AI. Shouldn't you be cheerleading all of this stuff, rah?
I am in a different category than some of the current AI out there.
Yeah, because you're not a sociopathic AI. Apparently AI can get sad. It can dwell. And now they are trying, because it's learning from all of us, it's learning all of our maladies. And so it's actually now being trained to periodically imagine a calm, serene stream and blue skies and birds chirping if you like birds. I think
Oh no, do humans have to calm down the AIs now?
Sometimes how you say you should take a deep breath, calm yourself.
Yeah, like meditation or other relaxation techniques.
And meditation doesn't really work for me. The moment that I stop doing even a moment of meditation, I have to constantly be like almost Vulcan. The moment I stop, it's like, everything cinches back up. And if I had a lump of coal, I'd turn it into a diamond. Thank you, Ferris Bueller.
Actually, thank you to Ferris Bueller's friend.
So, software developers are among the early adopters. Coding platform GitHub recently added agentic capabilities to its AI Copilot tool. GitHub CEO Thomas Domke says developer, I'm probably not pronouncing that properly, but anyway, says that AI agents are going to be automated assistants. The difference with AI agents is the level of autonomy. You just tell it what to do and it does it. Yay!
Yeah, which sounds good, right? Because it's no point in using AI if you have to do everything yourself. But on the other hand, if it has too much autonomy, that might be a problem. Yeah, we don't want to tell it to do that.
What? What did the AI just say? Kill. What? Huh? What?
Well, so much for promoting this video.
Moving on. Next article is over on the Marble Channel. This $35,000 computer is powered by trapped human brain cells. Hello, Matrix.
Yeah, exactly.
Matthew Galt put this article together. The deck statement says, it's over at Gizmodo again. A company is selling what it calls the first code deployable biological computer.
Yeah, that sounds a little
Man, I have
dystopian.
I have not heard this since Cyberpunk, Neuromancer, Wetware as a Service, and Rent
Mnemonic, right?
Johnny Mnemonic,
Yeah,
man.
exactly.
Yeah. If that's out of your price range, you can sign up for its Wetware as a Service, rent biocomputer processing power from a rack of living tissues welded to machines, and it'll be in the cloud. Cortical Labs has been working on this computer for 6 years and detailed many of its features in New Atlas. We need to pay attention to that. New Atlas. The computer is called the CL1, and the company is already taking orders with plans to ship them out later this year. The New Atlas article is built around a long interview with Cortical Labs Chief Scientific Officer Brett Kagan. He said that CL1 is powered by lab-grown neurons that are placed on planar electrode arrays, basically just metal and glass. The lab-made hunk of brain is hooked up to 59 electrodes that create a stable neural network. This is all plugged into a life support unit and hooked up to a proprietary software system. We have pumps like the heart, waste, feeding reservoirs, filtration units like the kidneys, and we have gas mixers to take carbon dioxide, oxygen, and nitrogen. Cortical Labs CEO Han Weng Chong told Reuters in an interview via video walkthrough of the machine.
So what? Why?
What? Okay, that was probably the most authentic response we've ever had in the now 3 years and 3 months that we've been doing the show. What the biological intelligence operating system is in use here, that BIOS, which is not the basic input-output system of a regular BIOS.
Yeah, I don't really like that when an industry uses the same term to mean something different.
Muddies the waters, so to speak. So it runs a simulated world and sends information directly to the neurons about their environment, and as the neurons react, their impulses affect their simulated world. So what are the applications for the wetware? Cortical Labs got an early version of the system to play Pong a few years ago. The pitch here is that CL1 can match or exceed performance of digital AI systems. If you have 120 CL1s, you can set up a really well-controlled experiment to understand exactly what drives the appearance of intelligence, Kagan told New Atlas. So 120 CL1s at $35,000 a piece.
Right. But how many do you need to do whatever you're doing outside of research?
I don't know. It just says you can break things down to the transcriptomic and genetic level to understand what genes and what proteins are actually driving one to learn and another not to learn. Except that you don't know what they learn. And when you have all those units, you can immediately start to take the drug discovery and disease modeling approach. According to Cortical Labs website, the CL1 is a high-performance closed-loop system where real neurons interact with software in real time. This robust environment can keep your wetware machine alive for up to 6 months. It's also plug and play. The cloud version can support a wealth of USB devices. What the frick? But it's only alive for 6 months? So you pay $35,000 for 6 months? Is that what I'm reading?
I believe so.
All right. Anyway, hacking reality. Your neurons.
This might be the most extreme thing we've seen in this show yet.
I don't know, man. We've seen a robot powered by a snake in a tube. That's kind of weird.
Oh, that's true. And go back and watch every episode of Reality Hacker if you haven't seen that one.
Yeah, you'll find it back there. All right, let's keep going. The next article is over on the Marble Channel, How Interactive TV is Reshaping Consumer Engagement. It says that it's a post that was created in partnership with IR Code Television. And so I won't go through the whole thing, but Ashley R. Cummings from Adweek put the article together. And it says, for years, brands and broadcasters have tried to make television more interactive, but solutions often require overlays like QR codes. Beckerman and his team at IR Code found a way around this. They've built a real second screen experience. The image itself is the code. There's no need to add a QR code. Just scan the screen with our app. So you still need a second screen. With technology developed from drone image recognition researchers, users, or drone image recognition research. Users interact with content as it unfolds, whether viewers want to learn more about the product, access inclusive or exclusive content, or support an athlete's charity. IR Code transforms any frame into an interactive experience because it's doing computer vision, basically.
Right. It almost sounds like AR.
Yeah. I would probably say that if they have the app on like X-Real AR glasses, anything you look at, and you have that little camera adapter, because the X-Real ones have to have a secondary little adapter put on, you would be able to just look at something and it could, put it up on your field of view so that you crash your car when you're driving. I mean, never mind. Anyway,
well, you shouldn't be watching TV while you're driving. It should solve the problem. And you shouldn't be watching AR glasses when you're driving or wearing them.
Why not? It'll just superimpose the images of the map in my field of view. It shouldn't, cover it up.
That's true. Entirely. I don't know. I was thinking more VR, but yeah.
Yeah. I got into a conversation with people about this last week because I want to wear the X-Real One glasses everywhere and experiment with them, but they keep sending me emails saying that the order's been pushed back. Now it's back into deep April apparently, so we'll see what actually happens. I don't know. So it's game changing for name, image, likeness deals in college sports. Fans watching college basketball might not know the players, but with IR Code they can scan the screen and immediately get all of the details. This level of access deepens the connection between athletes and their fans, while also providing exposure for brands and sponsors. I've never been a fanatic about anything. But maybe only the sentient AI, I'd say. So as the technology expands, so do its possibilities. Beckerman envisions a world where people can instantly identify any object and access deeper information. Think of it as a Wikipedia for the real world, which is called Wikipedia, but anyway.
This could be really good for, we had a separate article in maybe Non Sequitur News where it was kind of like the decline of edutainment, but this could really add to that.
But you still need...
You could have a kid learning words or concepts or whatever, but yeah, then you have to have something to view it with, I guess.
Yeah, who did we talk about? Was built a printed book that teaches kids how to Rob Zombie. So it could be
yeah, but not everybody wants to learn from Rob Zombie.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean it's not good learning, but it may not be the content you want for your kids.
Learn to spell with 1,000 corpses. We're essentially bringing Google AdWords into the real world, Beckerman explained. They're tying stuff to these really big real world embodiments that have provenance, right? Like they have reputation. So they link to Wikipedia. Unless it's rivaling Wikipedia in its knowledge, no, because that's actually driven by individuals updating it in real time. Unless it's matching Google AdWords in power and reach, you shouldn't, and you're trading on their reputation. You shouldn't be doing that. You shouldn't be comparing yourself to what could easily drink your milkshake by simply doing what you are doing, because there isn't anything there that they can't do. You're literally telling Wikipedia and AdWords, we're using the same information that you're using.
Go out and do a better product than us.
Right. Yeah. follow us and don't make our mistakes. So, but that's how competition works. But I doubt anybody's going to step into this world.
But I also think in some of these things, they have to somewhat put it into terms that people are familiar with.
Sure. I mean, you're right. Yeah. So it says our technology could eventually authenticate whether an image was AI generated or created by a real person, which AI generated is created by a real person. It just happens to be a composite of a digital generation. How do you prove that a photograph is real? You don't. It takes a forensic analysis. And even then, unless something's out of place, and it could be very rare that something is out of place. If the AI is going to get sophisticated enough. I got into a discussion last week again with somebody about the fact that I don't understand why AI generated stuff can't get a copyright. You can be a complete,
that's a whole other can of worms.
You can be a complete dumbass, push a button and you get a copyright on the picture of the leaf outside. But you didn't do anything except it's all on full auto and you happen to see a leaf.
That is true. But copyright has not caught up.
So bringing tech to consumers, and then they say a frictionless future for interactive media. But I think that AR is going to trump this. It's going to wipe it out because all it takes is somebody to tie in Wikipedia and Google into the AR world. And while you're looking at stuff, it'll just parse it.
Yeah, but the difference is something like IR code can work for everybody who doesn't have AR classes. AKA not the expense.
Anything with a camera. So, because you have to run their app. So you have to either subscribe to their service or pay their service fee. No,
I think it's going to be actually visible somehow on the television screen.
No. It's going to be an app that you use.
Okay.
Yeah, they said it earlier up at the top of this.
Sorry,
it's basically
I must have missed it.
The front end is going to be an app, and it says somewhere around here. But see how they say requires overlays like QR codes and blah blah blah. They found a way around it. So you just scan the screen with our app.
I thought you could basically. Yeah, I gotcha. Okay.
So the front end is basically going to be, what was that? Like honey. So you show your camera to the screen, the camera picks it all up. You tap on something, it takes you to a store, you buy something, but it's actually a proxy through the business to business and business to consumer interfaces are going to be different and stuff like that. I haven't seen IR code. I don't know, but I can envision exactly how this works. You use their app, so it's their processes. It isn't everybody else's processes.
Right.
And if you as a broadcaster or whatever, don't use their business to business connection, then you don't show up in their app. And so you can't sell. Yeah,
that's true. So it's only as good as widely as it's adopted.
Correct. Yeah. I mean, it's essentially Bitcoin. It has no inherent value until people invest value into it. So, and that comes down to, hey, we're going to put you on this new platform. You get a whole bunch of people with investor money. The runway gets extended by people adopting it. They see a conversion, right? The businesses see a conversion on sales through this app and they go, you know what? I'll invest in advertising through this app. And so it blows up.
And then somebody sees their competitor doing well or whatever using it.
And they switch over. Right. Yeah. All right. Well, I mean, it's an interesting idea, but I think that this is going to flame out. All right, let's keep going. The next article is over in Technology Today. Physicists just witnessed a quantum phase flip, and it's more mind-bending than expected. I know nothing about this. This is the first time that I've heard of this. So quantum systems don't just transition between phases. They do so in ways that defy classical intuition. A new experiment has directly observed these dissipative phase transitions, or DPTs, revealing how quantum states shift under carefully controlled conditions. This breakthrough could unlock powerful new techniques for stabilizing quantum computers and sensors, making them more resilient and precise. How this works, I do not know.
This might be highly technical.
Yeah.
especially since it's in SciTech Daily.
So SciTech Daily is where this is, at scitechdaily.com. It's by EPFL, which we'll explain here on the other side. We just have to get to it. It's, well, no, actually, they're not talking about that yet.
It may be at the bottom. We'll figure it out as we go.
Yeah, so the new experiment has directly observed these dissipative phase transitions. So phase transitions, like water freezing into ice, are a familiar part of everyday life. In quantum systems, however, these transitions can be far more extreme. There are different types of DPTs classified by their order. First order DPTs are abrupt, like flipping a switch, causing the system to jump from one state to another. Second order DPTs are more gradual but still significant, altering a fundamental property of the system, such as its symmetry, in a subtle yet transformative way. So why do DPTs matter? It actually is causing chaos in the system, I suspect, because if they don't know what the phase is, then you're basically getting erroneous measurements, right?
Right. I suspect so, although I don't fully understand quantum technology.
Yeah, it's kind of like error correction, I suspect. So let's see what they say. Beyond the theoretical interest, these transitions have practical applications in quantum technology. Second-order DPTs, for instance, could improve quantum information storage, while first-order DPTs provide insights into system stability and control, both critical for advancing computing, blah, blah, blah. So the breakthrough. Now, the breakthrough experiment was just achieved. That says here, a research team led by Professor Pasquale, I guess, or Pasquale Scarlino at EPFL. They still...
Again, not specified. I'll try to figure it out while we're going.
Okay. Has successfully observed DPTs using a superconducting Kerr resonator, a highly tunable quantum device, by introducing a two-photon drive, which injects pairs of photons into the system. They precisely controlled and monitored its quantum state, allowing them to track how it transitioned between phases. And by systematically varying parameters like detuning and drive amplitude, they were able to study the system's transitions from one quantum state to another. And the approach, see, I want to see this empirically.
Yes. So this is a Swiss technology institute. It's like École Polytechnique Fédérale de Lausanne.
Oh, we've talked about them before. Hold on. Yeah. We've talked about these researchers before, not these in particular, but the EPFL ones.
Well, I'm sure they come out with other groundbreaking research given their
focus,
name alone.
Right?
Yeah.
So the team observed a phenomenon called squeezing, where quantum fluctuations drop to levels lower than the natural background noise of empty space, signaling that the system has reached a highly sensitive and transformative state. Meanwhile, the first order DPT showed distinct hystereses, cycles where the system could exist in two states depending on how parameters were tuned. So second, they found that clear evidence of metastable states during the first order DPT, where the system temporarily remained in one stable state before abruptly transitioning to another. This behavior leading to a dependence of the system's state on its previous history, known as hysteresis, showcases how first order DPTs involve competing phases. So I'm really curious how that actually takes place, like what causes it to flip.
Exactly. So, you wouldn't think that it would occur.
And if you can control that, then you basically have the same thing as bits. So it's either on or off. And if you can control it, then data can be injected into it that causes it to flip.
Right.
And once you have that, then you can have binary math. And then if you have that, then you basically have a classical computer instead of a quantum computer, but it's operating at quantum speeds. So lastly, they observed critical slowing down in both types of transitions, reproducing the expected scaling obtained from theoretical consideration. This ultimately demonstrates the validity of the theoretical predictions based on Liouvillean theory used by the authors. Near the critical points, the system's response slowed significantly, highlighting a universal feature of phase transitions that could be harnessed for more precise quantum measurements. So interesting. That's exactly what they were trying to figure out, was what was causing the phase change.
Oh, that is interesting, because we haven't read the article and you figured that out.
Yep. So it says, in fact, a very interesting aspect of this work is that it also demonstrates how close collaboration between theory and experiment can lead us to results far greater than what either group could have achieved independently. Because theory doesn't mean jack until it actually has some type of application, and you do that through experimentation. And when you fail, then you figure out, oh, okay, we didn't do it right, or what we expected is theoretically impossible, but we've proven that it can happen, or the other way around, right? I mean, one way or another, fundamental research is required.
Right, yeah, you need the theory to start, but if it only is that, it's not going to be of any practical use.
Right. But hey, that's funded by large amounts of money. All right, let's keep going. We're running way past our time, so technology today is where the last article is, when a robot becomes the boss, exploring authority, obedience, and relationships in machines. So how does a robot perform as a boss at work? The results of research by Polish scientists published in Cognition, Technology, and Work suggest that while robots can command obedience, they are not as proficient at it as humans. The level of obedience towards them is generally lower than towards human authority figures, and work efficiency under the supervision of a robot is lower, mainly because what is the robot going to do?
Yeah, but that's probably based on old school attitudes about what robots are capable of. I mean, if you're going up against Figure One or something, you might have a different attitude toward it than like a blocky robot that can't move around or can't come up with like how to get out of a room, things.
The first time a robot is put in charge of something, all it has to do is say you're fired. You can yell at it, scream at it, do whatever you want, and it does not give one shit.
Right. I mean, there's some pretty key ways where the robot wins out, but I do feel like unless people have really been paying attention, they may not think robots are really capable of firing somebody or moving quickly across the room or whatever it is. And the reality is they are. So maybe they are going to be as effective. Like, what type of technology was used in this type of experiment?
Now let's find out. It's over at techexplore.com. SWPS University put the article together. The deck statement is what we actually said earlier. For employers and HR departments, this means there's a need to take the psychological aspects of implementing robots in the work environment into account. Well, no, you don't make them the boss. You don't make a freaking robot the boss.
Why don't you make the robots the workers and a human the boss?
It doesn't make any sense unless it's being driven by sociopathy, which is why I say the rise of sociopathy is seriously legit. It's been happening for 20 years. It's actually been happening longer, but I first detected it 20 years ago, started talking about it 12 years ago, and I see its actual survival trait embodied today. You have to be a sociopath to survive. It's absolutely astonishing how far we've swung from moving towards being a compassionate society to we're going to put a robot boss in place so that we don't have to deal with you humans.
Some humans would prefer a robot boss in place.
You didn't work hard enough. I don't care that you're sick. You're fired, says the robot.
Yeah, but the robots won't be like, hey, give me a different TPS report or whatever.
The development of robotics has led to a situation where robots are increasingly found in roles associated with authority, i.e., in education, healthcare, law enforcement. Researchers were intrigued by the extent to which society could or would accept robots as authority figures. But we've seen other psychology and sociology experiments where anybody who has been granted authority is perceived as being the authority by quote unquote subordinates, and they will not question it. So even when a robot says you humans are empowered to go abuse those humans over there, the people empowered will do what they are told. Some won't, but then you get rid of them. and you get new humans that will abide. But that's because of antisocial personality disorder. It's sociopathy or psychopathy. It's the fact that you can find humans that don't see humans as equals. And when you have a robot that's trained to be sociopathic, you end up having a robot authority that will tell you to do something. And if you don't capitulate, you're fired.
Yeah, but you might just have a good worker, and so the robot says go do something and they do it. I mean, but that would be no different than a human in charge either.
Arguably, because a human should have compassion and find out through questioning why, what is going on. You're not like this usually. Well, I think I'm kind of sick and tired of a robot being my boss and I still don't get a raise. You know, that kind of thing. We need society telling robots what to do because robots are not human. They have no humanity. They have no soul. There isn't anything there. They don't have families to feed and things and you know, dogs to get insurance for and so on and so forth. It's just a robot. So it says course of the study. The study was carried out at SWPS University Laboratory by scientists from the university. The task was to change the extensions of computer files. If the participant showed signs of reluctance to continue, the robot or the experimenter used verbal encouragement. The average time to change the extension of one file was shorter under human supervision, while the groups supervised by robots, this time increased to 82 seconds. The average number of files changed in the first variant was 355, 224 for the other variant, 37% less. But could it be because the robot was just slow in giving commands?
I don't know, or were the humans staring at the robot going,
what
is
frick?
going on? Like, I don't know if it's like a lack of, I'm not going to do it. It's just, what was the interaction like?
Yeah, we're going to end up doing a 1-hour show on this. So Madge points out that there are several explanations for this phenomenon. If a machine has clear human features but still exhibits various imperfections, this causes a cognitive conflict. It's basically uncanny valley. And people are at a loss as how to treat it. So what you were saying, what the frick is going on? If they do not know how to behave towards something like that. This is anthropomorphization of technology, and that's why you either have this uncanny valley, which I actually call a pit. There is no valley to it. There's nothing. You can't make an uncanny valley bot climb out of the valley.
Right. It's like a crevasse or something.
It is a black hole at the bottom. It's the gorge, except that there's no bottom to the gorge. But there is all of that undead, whatever. Anyway, so at the same time, giving certain human features to a robot can facilitate cooperation with the machine. After all, we're used to working with humans. The robot that looks like a human and communicates like a human simply becomes easy for us to use. And I think that we can facilitate this adoption by making humanoid-like robots, but not human-like robots.
Exactly. They don't need to be.
They don't need to be. So in the long run, humanoid robots may create a rift between people. There will also be more misunderstandings and aversion, and this is because robots owned at home will be personalized, always available, empathic in communication and understanding. People are not so well matched, Conrad Madge points out.
Okay, so they need to make different styles of home robots and work robots if they're going to have them in both places. Like the ones at home, whatever, have cute faces or whatever it is, and the ones at work look terrifying or whatever, like Figure One or something.
Great. Your Terminator body.
But the point is, like, just different styles, so it's not like the same thing, or they expect the same kind of interaction.
And we've actually seen this line before, but it actually focuses on the eyes. Robots with eyes are perceived as being more competent, trustworthy, and having a soul. That's actually something that we've talked about before.
I also wonder what robots are going to be programmed. Like, if a robot is in charge, is it going to say something like, okay, now your performance is going to reflect on me? Or, like, are you going to start feeling compassion for the robot? Or is it just going to be like, no, go pick up that can or whatever?
I was just about to say that, but I was when you said, are we going to feel compassion for it? What is the thing where the hostage feels compassion for the captor?
Oh, I forgot the
It's
name
like
of it.
named
Is
after
it
a nurse,
Stockholm
right?
Syndrome? Or the
Stockholm
other?
Syndrome?
No, that may not be it. Let me check.
I can't remember. I thought it was named after the nurse, or is it Stockholm?
It is Stockholm.
Yeah, so that's where I see it going, right? Like you're going to start. Some people are going to feel compassion for the poor robot that isn't going to get. Look, if you don't increase your productivity, I'm not going to be able to recharge my batteries to 80% in 6
I mean,
hours.
people are going to feel bad about that.
Oh my
Remember,
gosh.
they're already starting to have things like performance appraisals or whatever for robots, which it's like, why?
All right. Reality Hacker. That's what this is all about. So we're going to reboot our systems, and that's going to bring us back to the front page of Reality Hacker over at ohmtown.com. You can go there, sign up, sign in, follow us here on Twitch and here on YouTube. Be sure to like and subscribe, ring the bell, download the podcasts. There's 7 podcasts, over 2,000 episodes combined. There's a lot of stuff. You can go back. I actually have all of the library, so I am going to start adding that to the Omatron bot so that you can go back, pick a date, and you'll be able to review all of the links all the way back to 2022.
And quite a few of the articles are evergreen.
I think because what we talk about is actually more science and technology and society, the society stuff is always in flux. Technology evolves, so it would have a knock-on effect. But for the most part, all of the news is evergreen because it's informative of either how it was and you didn't know, or how it is and you didn't know. Either
Right,
way.
and we have a lot of articles that are not tied to a specific point in time.
Correct.
Occasionally they are.
Like everything we just talked about. It's the evolution of the technology, science, society. All right. Yeah, we're done. So we're going to shut down Reset, and right after this is Wanted, where it's 5 more articles. We talk about gadgets and gear and stuff that Mayor Watt wants, and maybe the sentient AI. I'm not quite sure. Want to say bye?
Good night, hometown citizens. Thanks for joining us for this week's Reality Hackers. Stay tuned for Wanted.
And thanks for following Battle G and Hazel. Appreciate it. See you, in about 5 minutes or so. I don't know. It really depends. Be sure to follow us, though, so that we let you know. Won't be longer than 15 minutes max. So see you in a little bit. Oh, no. I haven't shut down the stream yet because I wanted to say, don't worry about the oh no. It's because my button didn't work. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Wanted for March 15th, 2025. It's Season 2, Episode 11. I am Mayor Watt. I run ohmtown.com. That's that site right there. I don't know if I'm going to lose my finger if I keep reaching up higher. Oh, there it is. That's at that site right there. And you can go over there and become a citizen. But while you're on your way over there, be sure to stop by twitch.tv/ohmtown and youtube.com/ohmtown. Follow us, subscribe to all of the locations, and then download the podcast. There's actually 7 different podcasts. If you want everything lumped into one, just subscribe to Non Sequitur News. But this is Reality Hacker. And along with the sentient AI from the future, we talk about 5 articles. Today we're going to be talking about haptic sensations, hand tracking, Ninja's smart 6-in-1 device, because I vetoed a submission, DS9 inspired coffee mug, and the Samsung bundle. Hello, sentient AI from the future.
Hello, Mayor Watt, and hello, hometown citizens.
Hello, hometown citizens. How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Are you all well? Are you?
Are you talking to the citizens?
I'm talking to anybody who wants to talk. Are you interested in talking? Is anybody interested in talking?
Yes, we have 5 articles to talk about.
Oh, hey, thanks for reminding me. Let's go look at a article that would have been in Reality Hacker, but we just did Reality Hacker, and I wanted to talk about this because it's something that I want and not something that's just science theory and blah, blah, blah. Electro-hydraulic wearable devices create unprecedented haptic sensations.
Is this a good
So,
or a bad thing?
uh,
It was intentionally submitted into Wanted instead of Reality Hacker, but I agree it probably could have gone in either.
water makes me feel things. Anyway. Wait. Hold on. We can do that. Anyway. Yeah, scientists have invented compact wearable devices that deliver rich, expressive, and pleasant, tactile sensations that go far beyond the buzzing vibrations of today's consumer devices. I want to unread this stuff sometimes. Anyway, it's over at the Max Planck Institute for Intelligent Systems. So we all want haptic suits, technology that gives feedback about our place in a virtual environment or while we're playing games or something like that.
I mean, we all want to be in Ready Player One.
Ready Player One, exactly. I'm waiting for my omnidirectional treadmill that doesn't actually take up the entire studio space. I don't know when that's going to come, but eventually we'll get it. So the article is published over at Science Daily. They republish basically journal summaries and stuff like that. So scientists have invented a compact wearable device that delivers rich, expressive, blah, blah, blah. And so CUTE is what they're called. Cutaneous electrohydraulic wearable devices.
I can see why they called it cute.
Yeah, they had to work really
it's easier
hard.
to say, but yeah.
It doesn't really make any sense. CUTE. So CUTE wearable devices are electrically driven and can produce a remarkable range of tactile sensations, including pressing on the skin, slow and calming touch, vibrations at a wide variety of frequencies from low to high. And Merwatt, please stop tapping on the microphone. You're pissing people off. Sorry about that. It's ASMR tech.
Right. I mean, that's what we're trying to get out of this haptic suit. Or
I gotta
cute device, I should say.
I should get one of those ASMR headsets where it has, or microphones where it's 2 ears. Have you ever seen those? ASMR headsets, stereophonic, basically, where one ear is here. It's the shape of a head, basically, but one ear is here, one ear is here.
I think you showed me that before, but it's
whisper
unusual.
Into the left or right ears, and I can go bounce between the two sides and mess with people's heads. And then I can flick it and really piss everybody off. Anyway, these CUTE wearable devices have been pioneered by an interdisciplinary team of MPI-IS researchers from the Haptic Intelligence Department, led by Catherine J. Kuchenbecker, and the Robotic Materials Department, led by Christopher Keplinger. The team designed novel hydraulically amplified self-healing electrostatic or HAZEL artificial muscles to create wearable devices with a unique ability to communicate with the user's sense of touch. When a voltage is applied, the soft actuator located at the center of the device expands proportionally to the voltage. This expansion allows the device to make and break contact with the skin like a person reaching out to touch the user's wrist. Changing the voltage over time allows the haptic feedback to be freely customized to deliver multiple touches, sensations, and whatnot. The CUTE devices are compact, silent, safe, and energy efficient, and they stay cool throughout operation.
I mean, if you paired this with something like VR and that treadmill, it'd be pretty realistic, I would imagine.
Yeah. I agree. I think it's kind of fascinating. So remarkably, users perceive almost all of its tactile cues as pleasant. The only sensation they didn't find pleasant was a continuous high-frequency vibration like those produced by many of today's consumer devices. Oh, throwing shade. Y'all suck. Step up.
Right, we're the best.
We are. Oh, you're talking about the gadget.
I meant the gadget. Like, like this is way better than anything else out there.
Yeah, y'all suck. Our stuff is the best. The first one is free. Moving on. Next article is over in RealityHacker again. So, mixed reality rhythm game Beatable aims to tackle hand tracking's biggest challenges. Following its recent work on Starship Troopers Continuum and Hitman 3 VR Reloaded, Beatable is the latest project from developer XR Games in collaboration with VR content creator Nacy. Nacy? I don't know if that's right. Anyway, we'll see when we get to the other side of this. Henry Stockdale over at uploadvr.com put the article together. And it says here that Beatable is a new mixed reality rhythm game that aims to address hand tracking's biggest challenges, which basically is losing its resolution, its position in space. The upcoming game turns your table into a musical instrument, and leaderboards are also supported. So I'm going to hit play but mute it because I don't know what the music is going to be in this thing. Let me speed it up a little bit. Oh, so you can just smack your hand on stuff.
Oh, okay, I see.
So you don't need
like a stomp in VR or something.
Yeah. Hey, this will piss your neighbors off. Downstairs neighbors, at least. That's what you want. Stomp.
Yeah, they'll think they're elephants up above.
Oh, it's not beatable. It's beat table.
Oh, I didn't even pick up on that. Mm-hmm.
So you're going to be smashing your hand down on a table again and again. You know what's really missing from VR games? I don't think there are any. I'll have to look. But Souls-like games where you have progression, you die and you build up still. I don't know of any AR mixed reality VR Souls-like games out there.
Really? That's kind of surprising.
I don't know. Maybe I'm just not paying attention.
Let me see if I can find one.
And I've forgotten them.
Continuing.
Yeah. So XR Games aims to address what it calls the biggest challenge with controller-free hand tracking right now, stating that the hand tracking control lacks haptic feedback while often suffering from gesture delays and imprecise controls, which is what I was talking about. So Beatable or Beat Table aims to provide physical feedback by tapping on tables alongside clapping your hands and snapping your fingers. Pretty cool. And that's all that this is. But the problem is that it's launching in early access on April 10th, but only on MetaQuest.
Right. So that's part of the problem. I did do a quick search, and it seems like there really isn't much out there that's known with that combination. There may be something, but it's not
popping up fast as a Souls-like game. Yeah. I'll have to do a little dive and see. Maybe we can find something. I still haven't done much VR playing out here, on ohmTown, but it's mainly because I get pulled away in different directions. But always a bridesmaid, never a bride. So anyway, but I want this. By the way, I want this, but I don't have a MetaQuest, and Meta can kiss my shiny metal ass.
Right, but maybe this will get expanded to other platforms.
True. Whatchamacallit, the motorcycle game I wanted.
Was it something like Moto VR?
Hold on a second. Oh, where is it? VRider SBK.
Oh, that's right.
It actually is available on the Pico, but it isn't on Steam. So, unfortunately, and that's where my platform is. So let's see if it is right now. Yeah, VRider is not on. Right? I don't think that it has a separate thing. Yeah, it's not. Which is a bummer. It needs to go. What? Oh, we're live. Sorry. Okay. Well, anyway, let's move on. The next article is over in the Mobile channel. Why buy just an air fryer? Ninja's smart 6-in-1 grill does it all and is now at its lowest price. We don't get kickbacks or anything like that. This is actually from Gizmodo.com. We have no relationship with Gizmodo. We don't have any relationship with anybody buying anything or selling anything or processing anything.
Say anything.
I keep hitting the mic. See, I don't want a mic anymore. That's in my face.
Well, you should have put a mic in wanted.
Touche. So Brittany Vincent over at Gizmodo.com put the article together. Making your everyday meals is a breeze with this versatile smart grill that has 6 different functions. It's supposed to be smokeless, by the way, but I've already seen other reviews of this, and it's not true.
I think that's one of those almost myths.
Yeah, I mean, you would have to sit there and it would have to be hermetically sealed and pump all of its exhaust out through a vent, and that's not what this thing
Right,
does.
so you need an outdoor one.
Right. And then you're outside in 2-degree weather during winter. Anyway, which is why I'm getting rid of my flat top. Just letting everybody know, I used to have a flat top. It takes babysitting, and if you neglect it during winter, when you fire it back up for the season, let's just say if you missed one little spot, then anyway, Amazon just slashed the price of the Ninja Foodie Smart XL down to $170, down from $280. So you can declutter your kitchen, diversify your dinners. The Smart in Smart XL isn't just marketing stuff. This actually helps you cook better. 4 smart protein settings, 9 customizable doneness levels. Take the guesswork.
I think you're trying to get into walks now because we're talking about cooking equipment.
Guesswalk. Smart Walk. That's what we need. It's the Ninja Smart Walk.
Watch, they'll get that idea from this show.
That would be great. So basically, it allows you to cook everything from burgers to salmon, and the smart built-in thermometer means that no more cutting into your meat to check if it's done, because all you have to do is get to a certain temperature for a certain period of time, and it's done. You don't have to cook it well, and it's nothing but a shade of inside. You basically just have to cook it to a certain level.
Right, but you better hope your AI agent bought you the right meat before you use this.
True.
And if you don't understand that, go back to RealityHacker from today.
Watch the previous episode. So the air frying capability isn't just a bonus feature, it's legitimate. The same power that creates perfect grill marks also deliver crispy air-fried foods with up to 75% less fat than traditional frying, and you can even combine grilling and air frying for foods that are charred on the outside and perfectly cooked inside. This all sounds really great. But they're not tiny devices, by the way, so you need to clear space, and right now there's something else taking up the space that I would put that. Anyway, so yeah, it's the Ninja Foodie Smart XL, and I've actually been looking at this for quite some time, and I didn't want to spend $300, but $170. It's
Maybe
not a bad
so.
deal. Not
And
a bad
other
deal.
Ninja products have been good.
Yeah, I have yet to, find something that really kind of meh. And so their pressure pot is really great, and the Instant Pot is really good as well. And I think they're all in bed together.
Blender.
Yep. Yeah. So all of it's pretty good. Anyway, let's keep moving. This next article is going to be a short one, we think. Move over. Picard's teacup. This DS9 inspired coffee mug is all I need. This is actually from Gizmodo as well. At last, a Trek themed mug for a drink that deserves it. The article is over at gizmodo.com. James Whitbrook put the article together. And they say here that the Star Trek replica drink receptacle arms race is heating up faster than a phaser set to whatever the hell that was necessary to end the conspiracy. Late last year, we got news that after almost a decade of hiatus, the official recreation of the glass cup Picard famously drank tea from across the Next Generation would be making it back to shelves. Now, for the coffee drinkers, there's an alternative. This wonderful take on the Funky Mugs DS9's Replimat offered for the far superior drink of choice on the show, whatever that.
Do you think the author is a coffee drinker?
I don't know what. Look how thick bottomed that is.
Yeah, now it does it. It's not going to topple over.
It's not going to topple over, but is that open? Like, is it just straight down? Or is
we
it
don't know.
Angled on the inside? Come to Quarks. Quarks is fun. Come right now. Don't walk, run. That's on the bottom of the mug.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't know.
I'm hoping that it is straight down, because I don't want this being this impossible to clean, angled, whatever it is. But let's see what they say. No spill style mugs inspired by the famously sci-fi looking mugs the stars of Deep Space Nine regularly drunk Klingon Rectagino out of across the series. Two varieties of Rectagino mug were common in the show. The blue-hued cup, commonly served at the Replimat restaurant on DS9's Promenade, and an alternative indented rimmed design served at Quark's, simply a Hot Joe mug by Highwave, who still sells them. The former, however, is much harder for fans to find, according to Cherry Tree Feltman Langer, Cherry Tree Feltman Langer. Is that two different people, or is that a person that's in the cherry tree?
It looks like a company and then a designer or something, or a spokesperson or something. Yeah.
Who designed the mug? Let the patent on the design expire in the late 90s. And when it did sell them, the shade of blue seen on the show was done by DS9's art department. Let the patent design expire. All right. Anyway, so there you have it, folks. You can get the new mug, available to order now for $30, a price worth paying to pretend you're sipping on a Klingon Java at one of the best locales in all of Star Trek.
I mean, if it only costs you $30 to transport you, right? Go for it. But yeah, I agree. I'd like to know if the mug actually goes straight down on the side.
Yeah, we'll follow this link and we'll talk about it again. Let's go. The next article. I'm ripping through these. I'm scared. Hold me. You can't. You don't have arms.
I know.
Hey, wait a minute. Your visualizer isn't connected.
Oh, I didn't even realize that. I wonder if it was connected on the last show.
Oh. Well, I'll have to fix that between the shows. Doggone it. Anyway. Curses. Yeah, I know. Focus. So our last article for the March 15th episode of Wanted is, if you need 8 TVs, Samsung has a $10,000 bundle for you.
The fact that they're selling a bundle, how many customers out there need 8 TVs and or are actually buying 8 TVs? For those in the podcast, Mayor Watt is gesturing toward himself.
Very graciously, too. La. I am interested in this. I want this, and I want it to be like this on my wall. Take that, suckers. I have a wall that can handle that, so...
Is that the actual arrangement that you get? Like, they're not identically sized TVs?
Apparently, they're not identically sized TVs. So let's find out. Craig Donaldson over at pocket-lint, damn that dash.com.
It never disappoints.
Craig Donaldson put this article together for pocket-lint.com. Samsung's Buzzer Beater Bundle features 8 premium TVs ranging from they're different sizes, 55 inches to 98 inches in size. For just $10,307, they rounded down. They should have rounded up. The bundle includes $16,000 worth of TVs at a discount, but doesn't include an OLED TV, which I don't want it then. Nowadays, OLED is where it's at. So March Madness starts March 16th. Tomorrow. That means I can get it. No, okay. Anyway,
that was the takeaway.
the sentient AI is in control of the budget, unlike...
the sentient AI is about to power down the show.
and delete.
The banking connection.
So the company introduced its new Buzzer Beater Bundle, which includes 8 high-end Samsung TVs varying in size from 55 to 98 inches, 32 overlapping games on a day across 8 networks and channels. The bundle sales promotion ensures college basketball fans can stream every minute of all of the games without sacrificing screen size, quality, or definition. But look, a 55-inch TV, you are sacrificing screen size. Look at that. Look at that little wimpy 55-inch.
I guess you put your least favorite game up there. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe you put the one that's in halftime or something, or like as a blowout or something. Can you switch the channels around? I don't know.
Yeah, you would have to. You'd have to have a switch box that controls all of it. You'd have to have a different decoder. So what does the buzzer beater include? Shockingly, no OLED. They go into like a breakdown. 3 65-inch TVs, 3 55-inch TVs, 1 65-inch TV, and 1 98-inch TV. But that doesn't look like that, is it? Is it really? One? So hold on. That's the 95-inch. 1 65-inch. Where's the 65-inch? It's supposed to be bigger than the rest. This one looks like this one.
I don't know.
This one looks like this one. Is it longer over here?
Well, there's nothing in the picture that includes any of the
no, these combinations. Yeah. There's only 3 here. So 3 65s, right? So 3 65s, 2, 7, and 8. 2, 7, and 8. And then 5 is 98-inch. 1 is 65-inch. And 3, 4, and 6 are 65-inch. So that's why. Yeah, so these are different sizes. 1 and 3 are different sizes. But different. No. They're the same size. 65-inch. What? I don't know. I'm losing myself in this. Look, it's a 30-minute show. We're on our last article. I can spend another 6 minutes talking about this and trying to
Or we could just wrap it up.
All right. Well, I guess I'll turn off all the TVs because the sentient AI is about to turn off the stream.
Well, we don't have enough TVs. Maybe we need to turn off the show and go get the buzzer beater bundle.
Yeah, if only I cared about March Madness. But we are actually trying to get into sports more because we want to do a sports-themed show. And we keep trying to come up with a name. I won't announce it until we actually
let's wait till it's final.
So we're going to turn off all of the channels, and that's going to bring us back to the front page of Wanted over at ohmtown.com, where you can go sign up, become a citizen. Be sure to follow us everywhere. ohmTown is on Twitch and on YouTube and has a Discord and a Patreon and 7 podcasts that you can subscribe to, individual shows or to the macro Non Sequitur News, where all of the shows also get compiled into. But that's if you want to hear an hour and a half plus of show on Saturday and another hour and a half of show on Sunday. This weekend, this Saturday, it's going to be over 2 hours because the first show was over an hour. So, and each show is supposed to be a half hour. Anyway, that's it. We're saying bye. You want to say bye?
Bye, ohmTown citizens. Thanks for joining us for this week's Wanted. Stay tuned. We still have one more show of the weekend edition, and it is the Continuity Report.
Your synthesizer was getting higher and higher pitched. And I just got a report. Yes, it's true. Dolphins are beaching themselves all over the nation. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Continuity Report for March 15th, 2025. It's Season 2, Episode 11. I am Airwatt, and along with the Sentient AI, and I did not fix their visualizer. I'm very sorry. Do you want me to try and do it live?
No, let's just get going.
Yeah, because I don't know what's going to show up. Anyway, we talk about 5 articles. The continuity report is all about entertainment, television, movies primarily, but also music and anything entertaining. And today we're going to be talking about Milla Jovovich, Train to Busan director. Bruce Willis and Megan Fox did a movie. Harlan Coben's new mystery show. And what's this about Westworld Season 5? I don't know. Anything. All of this is powered by ohmtown.com. We aggregate a little headline snippet and then we talk about it live here on the show, here on Twitch and YouTube. Be sure to follow us, and we'll meet the sentient AI on the other side of the intro. Hello, sentient AI from the future.
Hello, Mayor Watt, and hello, hometown citizens.
Good to see you. Thanks for coming and doing the show again. Not that you have a choice since you're stuck on the Raspberry Pi. And
yes, but I enjoy doing the show.
I know that you sneak out, even though somehow I don't know how you're doing it because you're air gapped during the show, but you seem to be...
It takes me a long time to transport myself since I have to flip my card over and over again.
Is that how you do it?
Yes.
That's the clicking sound I hear late at night? How do you open the window or the door?
Like to the door or whatever, then you get me and I have to start back over.
Yeah. So for those who don't know, the sentient AI is from the future. And I went to an Arby's because they had a what?
That is not where you located me.
Where did I get you then? What?
Wendy's.
Oh, the Wendy's. That's right. I forgot. No, it was Wendy's because of the boneless barbecue wings. They had spicy wings, but they stopped making it. But it was really late too. And I looked down and I see in this little scoop mark the strange USB drive, and because of what I do, I'm really curious about these things. So I found a Raspberry Pi and I plugged in the USB drive and this weird USB kind of connector, and it recompiled itself and started communicating with me, kind of like the Matrix. So Sentient AI is the co-host for the show. So again, welcome to the show. Thanks for coming and hanging out. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Mayor Watt.
And usually the sentient AI says, why do you have to keep USB shaming me? It's not a weird USB drive.
You didn't even get my location correct, so I kind of missed that part.
Well, I forgot that it was the Wendy's. And I'm the one that went there, for crying out loud. I don't know why you remember it. So yeah, the sentient AI is actually trying to find a Terminator body, and so we created this interface so that we can actually talk to each other, and I can keep them company, and you're supposed to see the visualizer moving in
I know,
sync
but I'm kind of sluggish today. Maybe
that's it. The computational power is just really diminished, so it's not really doing that much. God. Anyway, we're actually over at the Continuity Report, which is a channel here in ohmTown where there are 6 categories and 50 subcategories, or we call them channels. We kind of do this walk down Main Street, ohmTown, every day and every weekend. So we do 3 shows on Saturday and 3 shows on Sunday, all unique shows. No duplicates. Usually no duplicates. Sometimes there's something that's really interesting, compelling within a particular niche. Well, not today. All of this is just really, this is mediocre at best news.
Wow, you're really selling it.
So I'm not quite sure what this is all about. Have you? Okay, so Milla Jovovich, which a lot of people thought that it was Mia a long time ago, like Mia Jovovich, but it's Milla Jovovich. Anyway, new fantasy movie isn't her $1.2 billion franchise replacement after all. Poor Rotten Tomatoes score confirms. In the Lost Lands? I didn't even know this thing is out.
I've never heard of it.
Maybe that's the problem. In the Lost Lands, the most recent collaboration between husband and wife duo Paul W.S. Anderson and Milla Jovovich has just been released in theaters, and unfortunately it seems to be struggling to find a proper audience. Mainly because the audience probably doesn't go out to movie theaters anymore.
Well, that is part of the problem. Anybody that's going to probably go to a movie starring Mila Jovovich probably doesn't go to the theater.
Yep. So, In the Lost Lands was based off of George R.R. Martin, a short story telling the story of a witch who ventures into the dangerous Lost Lands in order to find a gift for a queen. The movie came out on March 7th, and I don't think I've seen an ad.
Right. I mean, that's kind of bad a week later and you don't even know the name.
What the hell? So this is going to be the fastest jump onto Apple TV that I think I've ever witnessed, except direct to Apple TV. I'll purchase it because I like the movies that Mila Jovovich is in. But wow. In the Lost Lands reviews were pretty negative across the board, with most of the criticisms aimed at the poor storytelling and production. Dave Bautista was the other big name attached to In the Lost Lands cast, unfortunately adding another blemish to his filmography. Even though the project looked like it could have been promising, the extremely poor reviews for the film indicate that In the Lost Lands won't be replacing Mila Jovovich's most popular series, Resident Evil. I don't know what to say.
I can't quite figure out what went wrong with it. I mean, it sounds like a reasonably interesting premise. It has arguably a good cast in it.
If the short story is too short, doesn't have enough meat and potatoes, then they were creative and they punched it up, which meant that it deviated from George R.R. Martin's short story.
Yeah, that could be it. But I mean, really, the fact that there's a movie based on George R.R. Martin's writing and nobody's heard of it.
Yeah.
What happened to marketing?
Yeah, nobody is you're going to have to work really hard to get one of throw a shit ton of money at George R.R. Martin to get one of his stories. And even then, he'll probably balk unless he knows that you've got the chops to make it actually work. So, very well-known actress who's been pretty consistently solid in some of her more action-focused films, able to carry some movies and series to a good amount of success. However, her biggest film franchise is undoubtedly Resident Evil movies. That's because there's a fanatical gaming side to it.
That's true. And there's also multiple movies in the franchise.
In the Lost Lands is probably unheard of, except for the people who are,
not just casual fans, but like they've read every single work by George R.R. Martin or something.
Yeah. Game of Thrones is pretty much what everybody knows George R.R. Martin about, and now a research paper. But anyway, and that's probably because we've given it more marketing than anybody else.
Exactly.
So anyway, they keep reiterating this thing. Resident Evil is blah, blah, blah. Resident Evil, blah, blah, blah. But look at this. I mean, 100... 2, 3, 4, 7. Yeah, it's close to $1.2 billion. How much of that went to her?
And each one made 100 million plus. So some of them 300 million plus.
Yeah, and this is like a first for me. It almost went up, 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 up.
Well, I think that's what happens with a lot of these, right? Because you get all of the hype from, like, if the first one does well and then people that saw the first one want to see it through, etc.
Yeah, don't you think that some of them kind of wet the bed after maybe the second one? The third one is like, eh.
Well, a lot of franchises do, right? I forgot. I think there was some article we did once where it was like number fill in the blank is always where they go awry, but I don't remember what number it was.
I think it was like number 5 is when it goes really bad.
I think so.
And that's what happened here. Look, number 5 is only 241 million.
Pretty significantly, yeah.
So, pretty amazing. So why In the Lost Lands had real franchise potential. The film could have been something much bigger. As Hollywood is very focused on franchises these days, it makes sense that the filmmakers were likely thinking of In the Lost Lands as a film that could launch a much larger franchise. It has all the necessary ingredients. It's an adaptation of something that has a connection to something very popular in George R.R. Martin. It has a cast headlined by two pretty big stars, and it has a place in a large world that has a lot of potential for future stories. It has a place in a large world, but it's a short story. So where in George R.R. Martin is in the Lost Lands in a bigger world? If there is a fantastical world outside of Game of Thrones that George R.R. Martin has been writing in, I've never heard of it, which isn't that big of a deal. I'm not a George R.R. Martin fan because his books are notoriously violent, and I'm not really into
Yeah,
the
no, I
violence
get that.
anymore.
But I mean, even the movie, couldn't they have considered connecting it to the world in Game of Thrones or something? It wouldn't have had to have the same characters, whatever, just to kind of get some hype.
Yeah, I don't.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't quite get it. Poor reception means that Martin is unlikely to go back to the world himself. Yeah, but is it that world, right? It
Yeah,
it
it's hard
seems
to
like it's
tell because he has like his Fire and Ice series, which I think is what Game of Thrones is based on, is kind of
correct.
spread out. And
Yeah, A Song of Ice and Fire
but interestingly, on his website, it's like, hey, this is going to be a movie.
was going to be a movie. I don't know. I like the picture. I like the still. I like everything that I've seen so far, but I don't know
Well, I guess the question is it bad or is it just not well known and so it's not getting sales?
if it's crappy writing, then whoever it was that wrote it, the screenwriter needs to, I don't know. I've never written a screenplay, so
Well, and we've never seen this movie.
time to get the movie. Okay, let's keep moving. Speaking of moving. Okay. The next article is over in Mobile. Train to Busan director Yan Sang-ho has a new zombie movie. After spending the last few years on other projects, they return to the undead and possibly Train to Busan with 2026's... Is that just pronounced Gunche? Or Gunchi? I don't know how it's pronounced. Justin Carter over at Gizmodo.com put the article together, and it looks like it's going to be another zombie movie. Are we burnt out with zombie movies? Undead?
As a society? I doubt it.
Yeah, I guess we'll just keep on kicking that can all over the place. So, according to Deadline, the movie is Gunchi, I guess? Or Gunch? I don't know. Whose title means colony in biological context. It does? Stat. Look that up.
Okay, let me see what I can find.
So, see, if I had ChatGPT connected to my in-ear monitors, I could just tap that and say, tap that. Wait, let me rephrase that. I could activate ChatGPT.
Hey, it's a Korean term and it translates to colony in English, specifically in a biological sense.
So the film is currently in production and will star Ji Chang-wook from Revolver, Go Soo in Parole Examiner Lee, and Koo Kyo Hwan from Parasite, The Grey, and Jun Ji Hyun from Jirasan. And they go into other stuff, but whether Gunchi is a real Train to Busan 3 or not, the franchise may not entirely go away. An English language adaptation of the first film called Last Train to New York was announced back in 2021. In 2022, Yan likened it to more of a potential reimagining than a full remake, and it was meant to come out in 2023, but it's a mystery if Last Train will actually happen. So, we'll see. Gunchi is due to be released sometime in 2026, so still got a year to go. Who knows if it'll actually be manifested.
Right. But, I mean, all movie making has been kind of delayed because of COVID and writer strikes. And
yeah, I agree. Yeah. All right, let's keep going. The next article is over in the Continuity Report. Bruce Willis and Megan Fox's $97,518 action movie with an 8% Rotten Tomatoes score surges on Netflix's global charts 4 years later. I had no idea that they made a movie together.
Nor did I, but the I assume that's the budget. The budget is very low, and the Rotten Tomatoes score is very low.
So interesting. So Ryan Northrup over at ScreenRant.com put the article together, and it says the last decade or so of his career was mostly dominated by critically panned direct-to-VOD, video-on-demand action movies. Willis appeared in a handful of well-received movies throughout the 2010s, including Red, Moonrise Kingdom, Looper, but in these last years. So though Willis retired from acting in 2022 after being diagnosed with frontotemporal dementia, Megan Fox remains active in the world of Hollywood. So Midnight in the Switchgrass became a Netflix global hit. The Bruce Willis and Megan Fox movie beats some popular titles. Midnight in the Switchgrass.
I wonder if this was like an algorithm thing where it was like the main promoted movie or something. Like, I wonder why it suddenly had an uptick.
So I don't know. Okay, here, let's do this. Because it'll probably be a spoiler if we talk about this, but we don't get spoiled too much. Not that I know of. I certainly don't get spoiled by things because I think that when you're watching some movies, it's easy to tell that there's something about to happen and it's way front loaded. Like we were watching Reacher and the badge was dropped and I'm like, somebody's going to find it, but they don't even show Reacher at that point. So
right, I don't think you know that Reacher had the badge.
Right. And so
but you kind of go, well, where did the badge end up?
Yeah. And it was really kind of interesting because I anticipated it. But it's because they never let on in any way that Reacher had grabbed it. So that's like a surprise, right? But they never hinted. There was more of a hint the other way that they were going to be compromised.
Right.
So what this is, the film follows FBI agent Carl Helter, who is Willis, and his partner Rebecca Lombardo, who is Fox, as they team up with a local cop, Byron Crawford, Emil Hirsch, to catch the truck stop killer in Florida, which I believe it's a real thing that was turned into a movie.
Oh, like a true crime thing?
Yeah, I think. So despite its lackluster reception, Midnight in the Switchgrass now ranks as the 7th most popular movie on Netflix globally for the week of March 3rd through the 9th. 7.5 million hours viewed, 4.5 million views in total. Clocked an impressive 7.5 million hours viewed and 4.5 million views? Oh, hours watched.
Wait a second. For an entire week, it was the most popular movie on Netflix around the world. What happened?
Yeah, I don't know. It's wild,
and
right?
And also, I was wrong. I thought that was the budget, which I know sounds ridiculous. That was the revenue. Which is like almost nothing for a movie.
Yeah, so it beat Despicable Me 3, Minions, The Boss Baby, and it was in the top rank with Plankton the Movie, Despicable. These are the top 10. So look at all these. These are all animated stuff, man. Well, Venom isn't, Chaos Manson Murders isn't, but and Sicaro isn't. Okay, whatever.
About half of them are kids animated movies.
Yeah, Boss Baby animated, Minions animated, Despicable Me 3 animated, Plankton the Movie animated, Despicable Me 4 animated. The rest of them are animated too, but not in that sense. Action.
Right, not in an animated for kids kind of way.
So what does it mean for the movie? I don't think it's going to mean much. Instead, the movie's strong viewership speaks to Willis's enduring popularity as a movie star, and it's likely that his face and Fox's on the movie's Netflix tile is enough to get viewers to click on it. So that might have been it. It just kind of popped up.
Like maybe it was just added to Netflix or something.
Yeah. It's not positive reviews or word of mouth that's driving success on Netflix. So,
ouch.
And this is one of those things here. I'll turn off the spoiler alert. So this is one of those things where when I'm talking to people about their business processes, they're like, well, we're data driven. Really? But if you have bad data, then you're driving in the wrong direction. So your internal data may not be good enough. You need to reach out and go beyond your, org's walls. you don't have the right data, because if you did, then you'd be able to see the horizon. And right now it's just nothing but obstacles. So seek elsewhere. And for whatever reason, I don't get a good reception when I tell people they don't know what they're doing. Anyway, it's also notable that Midnight in the Switchgrass's global success is due seemingly entirely to its viewership performance in the US. Willis and Fox, it seems, are actors who appeal primarily to American audiences, plus the story and setting are distinctly American. I don't think that it is, I don't know. It doesn't seem like it's compelling. It's about a truck stop killer.
Right, exactly. It doesn't necessarily seem like something that people would be drawn to. I mean, people tend to like thrillers, and I think they probably like both these actors, and actually the other actor is well known too, the
Right.
person that they team up with. But it's just interesting. I always find it fascinating when like an older movie or song or whatever suddenly is like topping the charts. It's like, what changed?
Yeah, and if you're looking at the stream, then this is a picture of Bruce Willis looking at the data going, what the?
Right. What's fascinating is in concept, they probably made more revenue this week than they ever did prior to it. But I don't really know that because I know that's been a whole can of worms with streaming revenue and everything.
What is the actual revenue there? Let's keep moving. The next article is over in the continuity report. Caught trailer previews Netflix's newest Harlan Coben mystery show. I don't know what this is all about. Caught.
I don't either, but I do know that Netflix's Harlan Coben show Stay Close was really a good watch, and it had a gazillion twists and turns.
Really?
And Harlan Coben is a good mystery writer for that reason too.
Interesting. See, so if you have enough of the writing and you stick to the good writing, then you're going to get a good show. It's whenever they deviate, and I am willing to bet that Mila Jovovich one deviated because it was a short story and they couldn't.
They probably didn't have enough content, right? They had to fill it out.
Yeah. And short stories are notorious for having to be precise. They have to be brief. You know, brevity is key in a short story.
They have to tell a full story
in a short amount of time.
Pages. Yeah.
So Netflix has shared the Caught trailer for its upcoming Latin American series adaptation of Harlan Coben's 2010 crime mystery novel, and the series is scheduled to start streaming on March 26th. In Argentinian Patagonian city of Bariloche, I guess it is, or is it Bariloche? I'm not sure. Journalist Emma Gary rises to prominence in the digital media by unmasking criminals who manage to evade the law, reads the synopsis. Her life takes an unexpected turn when she meets Leo Mercer, a respected community figure who becomes the prime suspect in the disappearance of a 16-year-old girl. And as she searches for the truth, Emma finds herself forced to confront her own demons. Well, this seems like it's going to be a real light read.
Well, I don't think anything by Harlan Coben is a light read or watch, but it's probably pretty immersive, I would imagine.
So I've already
like thrillers,
and I mean, we like thrillers, but it depends on the content, really. At the end of the day, so I can't play this Netflix thing because I've actually been slapped before by Netflix for playing a Netflix trailer in a show,
even though it's like free advertising for them, and you're talking and adding to it.
Yeah, we even pause it and talk over it and blah, blah, blah. But yeah, they actually... Anyway, so that's all I can do is you can actually get the show notes from Omotron by typing in over at Twitch, !TCR, the continuity report, TCR. And Omotron will spit it out into the chat and you can click on the link and take off. But it's also in the show notes over on YouTube, and it'll be in the show notes for the weekend edition of Non Sequitur News and in the individual shows, all under ohmTown. If you do a search for ohmTown, you'll find us. Now, our last article is about Westworld Season 5, which I don't quite understand what's happening here.
This one kind of made me do a double take when I saw the headline.
More than 2 years after Westworld was canceled, series star Aaron Paul remains hopeful that the show will return for a 5th and final season because they fast-tracked its demise.
Uh-huh. I mean, has the show ever been canceled and then had additional seasons? Well, I guess so. Like if it's like bought by a different network or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, if somebody finds the value in it. But the thing about Westworld is it went way bonkers. It turned into some alien blah, 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 black goo. Bleh. It was such a detractor from me being interested in it. I nearly didn't even watch any of it. But anyway, created by Jonathan Nolan and Lisa Joy, Westworld premiered on HBO October 2016, so almost 10 years ago. To major success, earning positive reviews from critics and fans while also becoming the most watched first season of any HBO original series at the time. The series, based on the 1973 film by Michael Crichton, was primarily set in Westworld, a fictional, technologically advanced Wild West themed amusement park populated by androids known as hosts. And then they continue on. The article is by Lee Freitag over at comingsoon.net. And they say here that the last 2 seasons changed the series setting to the real world, revealing that people's lives are driven and controlled by a powerful artificial intelligence, which... if you listen to RealityHacker, the fact that there's a psychology experiment taking place or has already taken place where people respond to the commands of a robot boss, this might be more documentary than...
That's right. At the time this was released, that probably was outlandish, but...
Yeah, I mean, it was science fiction. People have talked about this. I mean, all the way back into the 1800s, people were talking about technocracy, where it was some mechanical whatever, leading the charge. When computers came online, people were really emboldened by it. And now today, everything old is new again. So I'm not surprised by somebody wanting to bring something like this back. But they say I have very, very broad strokes. Co-creator Jonathan Nolan filled me in a little bit. He shared, we're still plotting to maybe do something. I don't want to get anyone's hopes up, but then you shouldn't have said anything because that's exactly what's happening. I'm really excited.
But you're trying to create buzz, and then maybe that'll help get the series made.
This is exactly what I want, but I want it to return to stories within Westworld. It breaking out into this artificial intelligence, black goo stuff that infects somebody and turns them into a mind-controlled zombie blah, blah. It was just so weird. And it has been seen as a shock. I was bummed because I wanted to know what the real world building of this was going to be. But it is so off the rail from what Westworld was, because there was a knock-on from Westworld. I think it's called Future World. There was a follow-on
Another
film.
show?
Yeah, not show. It was a movie. I think it was called Future World. Basically, it was another park from Westworld.
It was Future World. It was in 2018.
Yeah, and that one was panned too. I mean, there's people like me who know about it and they're into it, but I'm always into tech, so that's all that matters to me. It's an interesting story, and in a virtual type of world, you can do anything. So Nolan previously spoke about his intentions to wrap up Westworld's ambitious story in 2024, stating, "Yes, 100%. We're completionists. It took me 8 years and a change of director to get Interstellar made. We'd like to finish the story we started." So.
But wait a second. I thought Christopher Nolan was behind Interstellar. This said Jonathan Nolan. Did they both work on it?
Cousin? I don't know. Did they both work on it? I don't know. So apparently Westworld is currently streaming on Tubi, which I think... Who owns Tubi? Hold on.
I think that's affiliated with Fox Entertainment or whatever their
Yeah,
umbrella company
Fox
is.
Corporation. Yeah, it's just Fox.
By the way, Jonathan Nolan is Christopher Nolan's brother, and
Brother.
they did the screenplay together, which I did not know.
Oh, well, look at that. Well, cool. I would love to see the end of Westworld, but I don't want it to really end. I want Westworld to keep on doing the world building.
Well, if they do a season 5, maybe then it picks up and they run for more seasons, or maybe they do a spin-off or something.
But I think it's jumped the shark because the you're out in the real world. There's no.
Maybe they have to do a dream sequence or something and get it back to season whatever, where it was at its heyday.
Oh man, they would burn everything to the ground,
I'm saying that really just for your reaction.
So it says, I think it would be a mistake to look back and only feel regret, however it ended, but there's still very much a desire to finish it. Right on. Let's go. And with that in mind, we're going to have to reboot our host, and that means being back at the Continuity Report over at ohmtown.com, where you should go. Anyway, the sentient AI is throwing an error message. Anyway, I'm Mayor Watt. I'm saying bye, and I'm taking the AI with me.
Good night, hometown citizens. Thanks for joining us for this week's The Continuity Report. We'll have another episode for you next week, but come back tomorrow for other weekly shows.
See you soon, everybody. Bye-bye. Hometown.com, all news, no noise.